Good morning. Happy Growth and Grace Day. This morning, we're going to talk through a scenario that just happened to me this week. And I wanted to share with you because I'm so embarrassed by how I handled it. And there's totally a better way to handle it. And I'm going to share with you what didn't go great and what I would do differently next time so that we can all learn through this together, because it was a bit of a guffaw and there's no need for that. So we're going to talk through how to handle a scenario that comes at you and catches you off guard, how to communicate through that, and how to go first, because leaders go first. Even when you're like, oh, I feel like I don't want to go first, like that stubborn comes up or the ego comes into it, or your feelings are hurt, or you're like, they should apologize, like they messed up. Whatever your thoughts on it, leaders go first. And this was excellent practice for me in that. So long story short, just so you're caught up on the scenario, here's what happened. I'm in the middle of a conversation. Someone walks up, interrupts the conversation, brings up something that I had talked with them about in private, doesn't like talk about all the details of it. So this other person that I was talking to is like, doesn't know exactly, but it was a very weird, awkward, like, don't bring that up. We talked about it in private, but also you made it so this other person's now excluded from the conversation because you're not talking about, like, it was a whole weird thing. And I didn't handle it great. And so I was just like, oh, I know, the thing we talked about in private, that I guess I wasn't planning to talk about it in front of people. And I like totally stumbled over my words and I got so awkward and I made the whole situation way more awkward. And then it was uncomfortable for them because I kind of embarrassed this girl that came up. And so it was like rude, and it was not graceful at all. And it created this like weird energy. So that's the scenario. That's what happened. After the fact, after the evening, I realized I was feeling like super annoyed. I'm like, what the heck? Like, don't just interrupt a conversation and then bring up something from private and then like what in the world? I was so annoyed about it. And then, so that was like night one. I was feeling just like, you know what? You should apologize for that. I was like, what in the world? That's not how you do things. And then I was convicted because, you know what? I also didn't handle it great. And I can't control other people. I can't control what they're going to bring into a conversation or what they're going to talk about. And in all honesty, she didn't actually reveal any private information. She just brought up something and she just wanted an update. She was being kind. Like, she cared about what we had talked about and she wanted to hear an update on it. And so I'm looking back over the situation going, oh, Susan, you did not handle that very well at all. Like, she was being sweet. She cares. She was checking in. Maybe it wasn't your ideal timing or place for it, and maybe it created a little bit of a weird scenario for a second, but at the end of the day, she was being really sweet and she was being kind and she was checking in on something. So then I was like, oh shoot, because I still didn't like it. I still felt a little bit exposed, and then I also felt embarrassed because I know that I didn't handle it well. And so I'm like reliving the situation going, okay, what didn't work? And what would I do different next time? And what can I apologize for? Because at the end of the day, if I'm feeling offended by something, there is a chance that I have also offended in that scenario. So instead of only looking at like, oh, I wish that other person would have handled something differently, I can't change that and I can't change what I did, but I can certainly learn from it and know what I will handle differently next time. So I'm looking at it going, shoot, okay, the way that I responded was a bit abrupt. It was embarrassing for her. I mean, she wasn't intending to interrupt the conversation and make it weird. She was intending to catch up and care about how things are going and just wanted to know. And she was careful to not reveal any private information. So I was abrupt, which came across rude. I embarrassed her by it was like I was like putting her in her place or something, like, yeah, we're not talking about that here. This isn't the place for it. And so I was rude and I embarrassed her. And so I'm reliving this situation going, okay, from her perspective, those things probably weren't pleasant to experience. So then where I'm at, what I can control is I can apologize to her for those things. And here's the thing about apologies. Don't just say, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so lame and it's so dismissive. You get to apologize for specific things that you did. Like, I am sorry that I am, like, you can use I'm sorry, but be actually forthright about what you're sorry for and be genuine with it. And so I can, without going into, here's how I was offended, but I'm also sorry that I offended you. That's like, it totally negates the apology. It completely takes away from the experience. There's no reason to apologize then if you're just going to only also blame them in the apology. That's not how it works. To give a full, genuine apology, you get to solely focus on the things that you are apologizing for and how it potentially impacted them. And I will admit my apology had a bit of an assumption in it that perhaps I had offended her or embarrassed her. And yet, this is what I said, and I'm actually just going to read it to you because I didn't have the opportunity to have this conversation face to face, and I didn't want to leave it go. I didn't want to let it go unaddressed. And so here's what I said. I can't help but replay what happened on the other night, and in attempting to see it from a different perspective, I can see now that my response was not grace-filled and potentially embarrassing for you and putting you in an awkward situation. Please forgive me for not handling that well. I do hope to get to see you and hug you tomorrow and would love to hear your heart on this if there's anything else that I've done to hurt your feelings or offend you. I would appreciate the opportunity to apologize for that. So, not saying that that's like the perfect apology and that's exactly what you should do. However, acknowledging how you potentially offended them, acknowledging that you did not handle things great, acknowledging that you messed up and owning it, and not trying to brush it aside and not trying to say, but the reason I did that was, or I only did that because, that completely negates it. So the reason that I sent that is because I was feeling it on my heart. I was feeling convicted, and it's not worth it to let something simmer. It's not worth it to let something grow, to let bitterness grow or resentment grow, or oh, she should have apologized first. And you know what she did when she realized that night that she had like created something that had me have that response? She was like, I'm sorry. Like she did apologize. So this whole thing, all I'm saying, perhaps I blew it way out of proportion, and own it. Like, just own it. Even if in the moment I was like, I do not feel like sending that message. Like, I still would like her to really recognize my perspective. And yet, from what I gathered from the situation, her perspective, she literally was just being nice. She wasn't trying to be offensive. She wasn't trying to cause any like scenario. And so just recognizing where the other person's coming from and seeing the best in them and seeing their positive intentions, seeing what they, like, her entire purpose in showing up was she came up, she's friendly, she was greeting two people she knows, and she was checking in on something we talked about. Like, all of those are really delightful things. So I also get to notice in myself that there was some offense there. So I get to look at that and be like, I wonder why I felt so triggered that night. So that's something that I can process through and then work through, and then not have that same response next time, an unexpected, like someone bringing something up in public that we talked about in private. I can handle it differently because I've gone through this and I've chosen to look at it, examine it, learn from it, so that I can do something different next time. So leaders go first, even when they feel like, I would like the other person to acknowledge what they did. You can still want that, that's fine, but still go first. Still make that first move. Still show your heart. Still, like, lead with an apology. Even if you, like, there's always two parties involved. I get that, or more, a lot of the time. You can take full ownership for your part. I'm not telling you to apologize for what they did to you. That's not your responsibility. And to forgive someone, you don't need an apology from them. That's a whole different talk. But just know that you can actually let something go. You can actually forgive someone without them apologizing to you. And please do it as soon as you possibly can. It is the most liberating thing. It doesn't excuse their behavior. It doesn't make what they did right. It's not saying that you agree with how they handle things at all. it's simply letting you be free from the grip of like, I'm so angry at them, or I'm so resentful that that's how they did things, or I wish they would have handled it differently. They didn't. They didn't handle it differently. They handled it how they handled it. So until you're able to let go of that and release it, and it is a choice, it's not just going to happen. It's a choice. So once you choose to forgive and you choose to try to see things from their perspective, and it helps you bring grace when you allow yourself to try to see things from their perspective. Replay the situation from where they were standing and from where they were coming from, and then you can see maybe how you handled it may not have been the best either. So simply want to encourage you to go first. If there is any lingering situation in your life right now where you're like feeling annoyed with someone or feeling frustrated with someone, go first. Start with an apology. Start with opening up the conversation. Even if you don't know what to apologize for, don't just make stuff up, but like initiate the conversation. Be vulnerable. Let them know like, hey, I know things are kind of weird between us, but I would love the opportunity to talk with you. You know, do you have some time this week? Be vulnerable. And they can say no. And they might say no. But they might say yes. And they might show up for the conversation and be in the conversation with you. So you don't know till you try, but leaders go first. So give it a shot. Go first. Make the apology. Reach out. Tell someone you love them. And we will see you next week on Growth and Grace every Thursday at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. Till then, bye for now.